Tony Bradshaw with AddSomeToYourIncome.com to speak about how you can add to your income by learning new things. I have some quotes and thoughts from others about that, and I'll make some connecting stories with each quote and thought that kind of will help bring about this whole thought process where when you learn new things, you will find yourself making more money. Let's dive in. As you think about the process of learning new things, and that then brings income, I'd like you to know one of the thoughts by great individuals. I didn't find an exact source, but I've seen it in a number of places that talks about being an inch deep and a mile wide instead of a mile deep and an inch wide. So what does that mean when it comes to your learning? I take it as feel free and find yourself learning new things, new areas, always ready to ask questions and to discover things that you don't know yet. Finding from people when you meet them to ask them questions and find out things that they know. Someone is an expert at something that you are an amateur. You can learn from them, and you do. In my research about entrepreneurs and those who run business as well, they know very little about a lot of things. Then they can connect with others and help inspire others and follow up with others and bring about the difference of, and being about a leader that makes that difference because you're connected with so many people. Coming in contact with experts, you find from them the things that you learn. You're learning. You're that ever learner. It makes you successful. It brings you more money. It's something that keeps showing up in the autobiographies and bibliographies of those who have made a lot of money. It's their ability to learn new things and keep the connections and connect with people and inspire people to share their expertise. Work as best as they can, but work the work that they work the mastery that they've gained. Instead of yourself gaining a mastery in an area, you know a lot about all the areas and can connect with the people, and that inspires them, and it brings about a new lifestyle for you. The next quote is one that really strikes me a lot. I find myself working towards making things perfect. I often want to get everything just right before I show it to anybody. The experience I'm having just with these YouTube videos is helping me. Instead of making it perfect, instead of working until it is just right and working to the point there will be no faults, I'm just doing these just to keep the exercise going and to put out there. And I recommend for you, whatever it is that you're holding it back. This quote says, nothing would be done at all if a man waited until he could do it so well that no one could find fault with it. Of course, as we work towards mastery, we get to a point where no one will find fault with it. It's almost an uncomfortable place to be, really. It's not what I'm recommending for really adding to your income. If you're working on writing a book, then you have editors that can help make it perfect with every dot and every line and all the setting, like the typesetting and everything. Like, that's what they do. They love doing that. You write the book, you write the story, and you are the author of it. You get to a point where you compose and you know that there will be mistakes, and you know that people along the way will help to correct those mistakes and get you where you need to be. A quick example just from this last weekend, I was staying at a friend's place. They let me spend the weekend there. I had a lot of solitude, and I found myself needing to choose between a lot of things that I could do, and I chose to do some power washing there. I brought my own power washer and was power washing. I chose to not play anything, like there wasn't anything coming in. I was just letting my brain think as I was processing and going through things. And yes, I was working. I didn't work the whole time though. I did relax a bit too. But I found myself able to just spend the time in solitude, comfortable with myself, not needing any music or podcasts or other YouTubes. It was just a really great way to disconnect and recharge myself and who I am. And I found that I needed to be okay that everything wasn't perfect. Even in the power washing, I didn't make it perfectly clean. I just got it clean enough and I moved on. Another quote that comes to mind that connects with this is sometimes done is better than perfect. So just get it done. Just learn what you're learning and move forward. I feel like I went on a little bit of a tangent, so let's continue forward. Life doesn't begin when you lose weight. Big dreams can be planned and achieved in the bodies that we have today, regardless of their size. Now, Deb Malkin is one of a number of women who are plus size who hiked Kilimanjaro. So they went up and they hiked this mountain, knowing that she didn't have to wait until she lost weight. It reminds me, and the image that I put in here reminds me of a movie I did watch over the weekend. I did watch a movie. I sat down and watched 7 Years in Tibet, and it reminds me because he was hiking those mountains. That was what he was known for, was hiking mountains. It reminds me that he found his life quickly changed when he became a prisoner of war and then bumbling around in Tibet. In knowing back at home, he had a son that was growing and all the things that was going on for this character. And how it connects is that he was so busy trying to get somewhere else until he was finally comfortable where he was. Then he was naturally able to move on. I won't give away any more of the movie so you can enjoy it yourself. Just do it. Learn how to do it. Don't wait for it to happen. Make those plans and go forward. I again feel like I'm a little off topic with the actual learning, so let's see if we can get it here. Success isn't about your end result. It's about what you learn along the way, said Vera Wang. You're learning. As you can tell, I'm not saying here's a curriculum to read. Here are the books to read. You will find it on your own and it will find you. When you take upon yourself the attitude of I'm going to learn, it might not even be books. It could be the movies. The movies that you watch, they all start to connect together. It could be the people in your lives. You just ask them the right questions and they make connections with you and you move forward in that learning process and in that growth. Being in education, I very much like a curriculum. I like to have certain books that are read and that are read. Here's the book. Here's what you work through. These will be the tests. It's all laid out. Life, though, I know is a little different than that. It's a little different than that exact structure. The maze picture that I have here is that it's not about getting to the end of the maze. It's about how you solve the maze. I had a friend who would write computer programs to solve mazes. And he says, you could write a very simple program that every time the search got to a certain point, they turned right. And it solves most puzzles, like most maze puzzles. There are certain ones that it won't, but it solves most of them. There it is. It's about that process. It's about what you learn as you go through the maze. Does that really work? Can I sit down? What kind of mazes don't work? Like, instead of just getting to the end and say, I finished it, I completed the maze. What's next? Give me the next thing. It's becoming instead, well, how did this maze get put together? Can I put one together? What is this about right turns? Does that actually work? When doesn't it work? And you start to become someone who learns from the maze, not just getting the maze done. Be a learner, not just a doer. It is what we know already that often prevents us from learning. Most of us can say, I know how to solve a puzzle. And so you sit down and you solve the puzzle. What Claude Bernard is pointing out is that how does a puzzle get put together? So how do you create one for other people to solve? How do you put together the book with the activities that students are going to do? How do you be the one that's the creator and the one that's learning how to do that? What is it that you're going to do to make the world better? What are you learning today that's going to add to your income? I look forward to seeing you on the other side.